Hi, good afternoon. What is your name, by the way?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Shunichi and I'm 21 years old. I'm from Sarawak.
What's your religion and race, by the way?
My religion is Christian and my race is Iban. It's a
Alright,
like small group of people in Sarawak. Yeah.
alright. Thanks for taking your time for doing interview with me. So like, I have 7 questions to ask you. So the first question will be, what culture tradition does your family practice?
To answer that question, my family practice is every year on 31st of May to 1st of June. We celebrated Hari Gawai, and it's a harvesting festival where everyone came together and celebrate their harvesting uh harvest. Yes, yeah.
Alright. Alright, let's move on to question number 2. Which of these are important specifically to you and your family?
Uh, for example, harvesting festival is really important to me. It's the only time or the time where we all gather together in one place, in Rumah Panjang or just the houses. We just gather around together, far relative, families, friends, and my grandparents as well. And for me, it's really important spending time with your families. Just yeah.
That's really nice. Alright, move on to the next question. Name one or two traditional that are important in your culture.
It's to visit our loved one grave, give them food. We pray for them. They won't feel sad in a way.
Alright, gotcha. Alright, the next question will be, what do you consider different about your culture beliefs and practice compared to those of others' culture?
To me, I don't think there's much difference. I have a Chinese friend and she celebrated Chinese New Year, and for me, it's sort of like family gathering where you just gather around with your friends, families, and relative to just spend time together. I feel it's the same as Gawai, where you just gather around, get to know, like catch up with your friends or your families, like your sister, if you guys haven't met for like months or years. So I don't think I see a difference in my traditions and my culture, and yeah.
Alright. Okay, so the fifth question will be, what do you feel is common misconception about people of your culture background?
I don't think I ever encountered this type of conversation before, like where people like assume some stuff about my culture. I never encountered it, so I don't know how to answer that question. I'm sorry.
Uh, I see. Okay. Question number 6. Have you ever had a situation where a differences cause a misunderstanding with someone? How did you navigate that situation?
It's a normal conversation where I was talking to my friends, Chinese friends, where she celebrated Chinese New Year, and we were just exchanging this conversation about our culture, like what does she do when it's like Chinese New Year. She just mentioned that her parents or someone, the elder would give them ampao, the married couple would give ampao, and they'll wear like red color shirts that's really bright to scare off the bad luck. So I was just exchanging conversation with her about my culture as well, like Harigawa, you just gather around with your families, but the differences is just we don't wear bright shirts and we don't give ampao. We're just there to catch up with our families and friends. So I don't think it's a misunderstanding because we're just trying to know each other's culture. And the way I navigate through the situation is just by listening and try to learn like her culture, Chinese culture. And it was a really great conversation that I had with her quite a while ago.
All right. All right,
Yeah.
move towards to the last question. Can you describe a time when a culture differences led to a learning experience for you? What did you learn about yourself or others in that situation?
Well, I think I already explained this before. I had a conversation with one of my Chinese friends, and we were just exchanging like culture, knowledge, informations. And I kind of like learned a lot about her culture. One of the things that I like about her culture is that they love play fireworks. It's really nice when you play firework at night, like just the view, just the vibe, you know. Like people were just having fun, just laughing, so eating good food. That's what I learned about my friend's culture at the time. It was a good conversation that we have.
I see.
It was
All
fun.
right. That's all about our interview. Thanks a lot for taking your time to do this
Okay.
interview. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Mm. All right. Thank you so much for your time to join this interview. What's your name?
My name is Caroline, and I'm 21 years old, and I study at Management and Science University.
What's your race and religion?
My religion is Christian, and my race is Chinese Filipino.
I see, I see. All right. I'm gonna ask you 7 questions total here. So the first question will be, what culture tradition does your family practice?
I would say Christmas, if that counts.
The second question will be, which of these are important specifically to you and your family? Why? Describe them in details.
So I would say Christmas is a pretty important practice for us because as a Catholic Christian, this holiday is very important for us because it is the day our Lord was born. So we would gather the entire family for a nice dinner. So yeah.
Name one or two traditional that are important in your culture.
I can think of two. So one of them is so basically there's this tradition in the Philippines. We call it debut, or in English we call it the debut. It's where it's similar to the Spanish's quinceañera, where they would celebrate a young girl's 16th birthday. But for Filipinos, a debut is where we would gather the whole family to celebrate a young woman's 18th birthday. So another tradition that we Filipinos have been also still doing to this day is called courting. So the act of courting is usually for guys. So the act of courting is basically guys would play their guitar and serenade their loved one or their significant other by playing the guitar outside their house at either at night or during the day. So that's courting.
All right. Question number 4. What do you consider different about your culture beliefs and practice compared to those of other culture?
So what I consider different about my culture's practice is that we would use our hands to eat, compared to the Western culture where they use utensils, spoon, fork, etc. Because we believe that using our hands is a way of paying tribute to our old custom, which is called the Kamayan custom.
Next question. What do you feel is common misconception about people of your cultural background?
People often mistake the Philippines for a third world country, which leads them to then generalize all Filipinos as a whole with the same third world mindset. So I find that to be the biggest misconception because Filipinos are very smart, and in fact, there are tons of Filipino nurses all over the world.
Have you ever had a situation where culture differences cause a misunderstanding with someone? How did you navigate that situation?
Unfortunately, yes. In Asian culture, we showcase our love and adoration to another by folding a certain number of paper stars and putting them in a jar. I gave a jar filled with those said stars to a close friend of mine who is of Western culture. They thought that I bought those stars from a store, so they mistakenly threw it away. This led to a misunderstanding which upsetted me dearly. They told me that they were not aware of such custom. So I understood, as they do not have such culture in the West.
I see. That's very unfortunate. Okay. Move forward to the last question. Can you describe a time when a cultural differences led to a learning experience for you? What did you learn about yourself or others in that situation?
A cultural difference that led to a learning experience for me was having dinner with a close friend of mine who is of Chinese descent. I learned that they share main dishes together. They would order a big plate and put it in the middle of the table, and we would all like use our own individual chopsticks and have our own individual bowls, and we would like share from that big bowl. And I noticed that we can like form a close bond with one another by doing so, and I think it's very similar to Philippine custom. In Philippine custom, we would all gather on the dining table and eat using a really big banana leaf, and we would share main dishes from that said banana leaf. So I think that Chinese and Filipino culture are very similar.
I see. All right. Thank you for your time for doing this interview with me today.
No
Thank you so much.
problem.
Yeah. Hi, good evening. What's your name?
My name is Alyssa Choi Streetman. Nice
All
to
right.
meet
Thank you.
you.
Great. All right. Good
Mm-hmm.
evening. Thank you for joining this interview. May I know your age? Like, how are you?
Uh, I am 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What race are you?
I am Chinese.
What are you doing now, suddenly?
I am currently studying English and Public Relations.
I see. What is your religion?
Uh, I'm a Christian, but I'm a Methodist, which is under Protestant.
All right. All right. I have seven
Mm-hmm.
questions to ask you. So the first question will be, culture tradition does your family culture practice?
Okay, the cultural traditions or customs of my family or culture practices are usually Chinese New Year and Mooncake Festival.
All right. Second question will be, which of these are important specifically to you and your family? Why? Describe them in details.
I feel like the tradition that is most important specifically to me and my family is Chinese New Year. The reason why is it is one of the major times that we can get together as a family to celebrate and have fellowship together.
All right. So the question will be, name one or two culture that are important of your culture.
One or two cultural traditions that are important to my culture is the reunion dinner with immediate family during New Year's Eve and Qingming because it helps us remember those who are not with us anymore.
All right. Question number four. What do you consider different about your culture belief and practice compared to those of other cultures?
What I consider different about my cultural beliefs and practices compared to those of other cultures is the food, maybe because
Mm-hmm.
the food that we partake in and the ceremonies and traditions that we follow are completely different to other cultures.
I see, I see. All right, and question number five. What do you feel is common misconception about people of your cultural background?
A common misconception about people of my cultural background is that we are inclusive. I mean, we're not in like avoider of other cultures, but we are not that inclusive when it comes to Chinese New Year or anything. And we invite people we don't really invite people other cultures or races to celebrate our culture, but we mostly celebrate with our family, like just close family only.
Right.
Yeah.
Question number 6. Have you ever had a situation where a culture difference caused a misunderstanding with someone? How did you navigate that situation?
I think the most common situation that I have faced is mostly when friends from other cultures or races are sensitive to certain types of foods and how it's prepared. So the way
Mm-hmm.
I navigated through it is by explaining, and we cater them by getting food from the proper certified outlets or restaurants.
All right. Okay, last question. Can you describe a time when a culture differences led to a learning experience for you? What did you learn about yourself or others in that situation?
Mm. A time when a cultural difference led to a learning experience for me is when I go out with my friends from different races and cultures, and we try to cater to them. So I would try to make an effort to go to proper certified restaurants that are favorable to my other friends instead of catering to foods from my own culture, because we want to be inclusive of yeah, and not insult them in any way. So this teaches us to be more sensitive and be more aware of other races and cultures.
All right. That's all about it. Thank you for joining the interview.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Okay, thank you for spending your time today. So, I have 7 questions that I want to ask. But first of all, what's your name?
Okay, my name is Nur Farisha Lira. You can call me Farisha.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
What's your race and religion?
I'm Muslim and my race is Melayu.
So, my first question is, what cultural tradition does your family practice?
Okay, okay. Okay, so as a Muslim family, we practice daily prayer, which is Salat, 5 times a day, and fasting during the month of Ramadan. We also celebrate 2 major festivals, which is Hari Raya Aidil Fitri, which marks the end of Ramadan, and Hari Raya Aidil Adha, which commemorates the willingness of Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son in obedience to God.
Wow, interesting. Okay, my second question is, which of these are important specifically to you and your family? Why? Describe them in detail.
Okay. Fasting during Ramadan is particularly important to us. It is a time of spiritual reflection, self-discipline, and community. We gather each evening to break our fast together with a meal called iftar, which usually starts with dates and water. We also engage in extra prayer and charity during this month. This practice strengthens our family bonds and reaffirms our faith.
I see. Okay, the third one is, name one or two culture that are important of your culture.
Hospitality and charity are fundamental aspects of our culture. We believe in welcoming guests with generosity and always offering help to those in need. These values are ingrained in us through teaching from the Quran and Hadith, and they play a crucial role in our community interaction.
Okay. So, what do you consider different about your cultural belief and practices compared to those of other cultures?
One notable difference is our dietary laws, such as a prohibition of alcohol and pork. Additionally, our emphasis on modesty in dress, particularly for women, is a distinct aspect of our culture. These practices are rooted in our religions, belief, and often stands out in particular setting.
So, what do you feel is common misconception about people of your cultural background?
A common misconception is that Muslim women are oppressed due to their modest dress and the practice of wearing hijab. In reality, many Muslim women choose to dress modesty as an expression of their faith and identity. This choice is often empowering and deeply personal.
Okay, this is our special question. Have you ever had a situation where a cultural difference caused a misunderstanding with someone? How did you navigate that situation? I mean, like, how you handle that situation?
Yes, I have experienced such a situation once. I was working on a project with colleagues from various cultural backgrounds. During Ramadan, I was fasting, and one of my colleagues, unaware of this, invited me to lunch. I politely declined, explaining that I was fasting for Ramadan. Initially, there was some confusion as they didn't understand why I could even drink water during the day. To navigate this situation, I took the opportunity to explain the significance of Ramadan in Islam, the practice of fasting, and how it self-discipline. My colleague was very understanding and appreciative of explanation. This not only cleared up the misunderstanding but also fostered a greater sense of respect and empathy within our team. It highlights the importance of communication and education in overcoming cultural differences.
Okay. The last question. Can you describe a time when a cultural difference led to a learning experience for you? What did you learn about yourself or others in that situation?
Certainly, I recall a time when I attended a friend wedding from a different cultural background. It was my first time participating in a Hindu wedding ceremony. I was initially unsure about the costume and ritual, and I didn't want to inadvertently offend anyone by doing something inappropriate. Throughout the ceremony, I observed and asked respectful questions about the various rituals and their meanings. My friend and their family were more than happy to explain. I learned a great deal about Hindu tradition and the rich symbolism in their wedding ritual.
Okay, that's all for now. Thank you for spending your time today.
Okay, thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. Thank you for you to spending time with me doing this interview. So I have a 7 question that you need to answer, and before that, can you introduce yourself first, please? Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam and hi, my name is Mustafid, or you can call me Mus. I live in Kampung Pelajar Sili Sungai Buloh. I am biologically Indonesian with Malaysian citizenship because I was born and raised in Malaysia. Both my parents are from an island in Indonesia called Bawean.
So the first question is, what cultural traditions does your family or your culture practice?
Okay, first of all, my family and the community here practices more or less the same as orang Melayu, but there are some things different that I can see, such as before entering the house, we must wash our feet first, and also it's a must for parents to send their children to learn mengaji at Ustaz or Ustazah's house when it's Maghrib time. Also, there's like a feast and doa selamat held a day before Hari Raya Puasa and Hari Raya Korban. And also, when there is a wedding in the community, it's a common practice for the elders to do rewang, like cook together. And last but not least, it's also common for the elders to keep working even though they have pension, because they just want to save up money.
The second question is, which of these are important specifically to you and your family, and why? And describe them in all detail.
I think the most important tradition for me and my family got to be the one that parents must send their children to learn mengaji. Is to make sure that their children are not, buta huruf, also fluent in reading Al-Quran since young age. In the Ustaz or Ustazah's house, the community kids will gather together to first solat Maghrib, and after that they will teach and learn Al-Quran from each other until Isyak time comes. And after that they will solat Isya and go to home.
The third question is, name 1 or 2 cultural that are important of your culture.
1 or 2 cultural important to my culture. I think it's got to be like the previous one. a must for parents to send their children to learn mengaji, and also doa selamat a day before Hari Raya, because both of them are more to Islamic side, and I think it's both are important to shape and maintain my culture.
And what do you consider different about your culture beliefs and practice compared to those of other cultures?
What makes my culture different from the others, I think, is how we wear our attire. Like di Songkok, sorry if I'm being ignorant of stuff, I think orang Melayu only wear bright color songkok, right? And also if that is white, they wear kopiah. And also we originally wear baju Melayu without samping, when most people wear baju Melayu with samping.
Oh, that interesting. And next question is, what do you feel is common misconception about people of your cultural background?
Misconception. I think others always look down on us, on my people, just simply because we are not Melayu. Also, they think we are stupid because the others are not too fluent in speaking Malay.
And can I know, have you ever had a situation where a cultural difference caused a misunderstanding with someone? How did you navigate that situation? Yeah.
So far, no, because I'm not stupid, and also I speak in Malay more fluent than them.
And the last question is, can you describe a time when a cultural difference led to a learning experience for you? What did you learn about yourself or others in that situation?
Oh, the last question. A learning experience. I think it's more like about food, because in my culture, there is a variety of food that is more or less the same, similar, and completely different from the others. What me and my friends of the other cultures learn are the preparation of the food, and also the manners when we eat and also prepare the food.
Alright, I see. All the question is done, and okay, I think that's all. Thank you for your time, Mus. Thank you. Bye.